the Inner Road Trilogy, The Road So Far, Part 1 and Part 2. In the first part of this story, we talked about effort, about what happens when you give everything and still do not arrive. In the second part, we talked about what that does to you on the inside, about the doubt that settles in when effort goes unanswered long enough. This is the third part. This is what comes after, when the noise gets a little quieter and something else becomes possible. Not an answer. A question you have not asked yourself in a long time. Why? Opener. The why. This is not about finding your purpose. This is not about motivation or meaning or getting back on track. This is about a person who has been giving and helping and showing up for everyone for a long time, who never quite learned to stop and ask whether any of it was working for them too. Part 1. After the doubt. Something shifted. Not loudly, just quietly. The weight started to feel different. There is a place that comes after the doubt. Not clarity, not resolution, more like a pause where the questions are still there but not as loud. And in that pause, something else surfaces. Not an answer, a different question. Not, am I enough? But, what am I actually doing this for? You are still here, still getting up, still showing up, still doing what needs to be done. Not because everything is fine, because that is what you do. You have always been the one who keeps going, even when no one asked if you were okay doing it, even when you yourself had quietly stopped noticing what it cost. Somewhere under all the doing, under all the giving and holding and carrying, there is a question that has been waiting. It comes in the small moments when something around you is finally quiet enough to hear it. Why am I doing this? Not as a crisis, as the most honest thing you have asked yourself in a while. Part 2. The question. Underneath the why is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that something in you is finally honest enough to ask. The why that comes after long effort and real doubt is not resignation. It is the first honest moment in a long time. You stopped running long enough to ask what you were running toward. That is not weakness. That is the beginning of something. Think about what the last few years have actually asked of you. The energy spent on other people's problems before you looked at your own. The decisions made with everyone else considered first. The help given without ever checking whether you had enough left. You did all of that without complaint, without making it about you. But somewhere in all of that, a question got buried. What about you? Somewhere along the way, a habit formed without being named. The habit of not asking yourself first, of not checking in before saying yes, of not stopping to breathe before giving again. No one ever told you that you were allowed to do that, so you did not. Part 3. What the world said. The why should be. The reasons you were given were never really yours. They were just the ones that were acceptable. The world has opinions about what a good reason looks like. Family, success, faith, security. These are the reasons that get nods. The ones people understand without explanation. And for many people, none of them quite fit. Not because they are wrong, because no one ever asked what their actual reason was, only which of these they were choosing. When the approved reasons do not land, people assume the problem is with them, that they are not grateful enough, not clear enough about what they want. But the problem was never with them. It was with a system that offered reasons without asking what was actually true for that specific person, carrying that specific weight. The reasons that actually keep people going are rarely grand. A person, something unfinished, a quiet curiosity about what tomorrow looks like, the feeling that leaving now would not be honest. These are not the kind of reasons you put in a speech, but they are real, and real is the only kind that holds when everything else gets heavy. Part 4. The person you forgot to ask. You have been so careful with everyone else. You forgot that you were also someone worth that care. Giving without asking whether you have enough. Helping without checking whether it is the right moment. Being there for everyone as if being there for yourself was not also something you were allowed to choose. This was never named as a habit. It was just what happened, and it happened so naturally that it never occurred to anyone, including you, to question it. Not stop giving, not stop caring. Just stop for a moment before you do it again, to breathe before you say yes, to ask yourself one honest question. Does this work for me right now? Nobody ever told you that pause was yours to take, but it is. You already know how to be careful with other people. You notice when someone is struggling before they say it. You think about how something might land before you do it. What would it look like to do that for yourself? To ask, how am I actually doing right now? What do I have to give today, honestly? That is not selfishness. That is the same care you have always given, just finally pointed inward. Part 5. Still here. You You did not just survive this, you carried it every day without anyone seeing the weight. I do not know exactly what the last months or years have taken from you, but I know something did. The nights that were harder than they looked, the mornings where getting up took more than it should have, the moments where you kept going not because you felt strong, but because you did not know what stopping would even look like. That is real, and it is not a small thing. Dear traveler, I am glad you are still here. You kept moving without arriving. You doubted yourself without being guilty. And still, you kept going. That takes strength. Your journey may not be over yet. It does not have to be. Mine never stops either. But one thing is clear. You are not broken. And that is all that matters. Yours, Noah. I am not going to give you a plan, but I want to point in one direction. Maybe the next thing is not another push forward. Maybe it is something quieter. The beginning of noticing. Noticing when you are about to give before you have checked in. Noticing when a decision is being made for everyone except you. Noticing that you are someone worth exactly the kind of attention you have always given to others. You already know how to do this. You have been doing it your whole life. You have just never aimed it at yourself. Closing. Whether you watched all 3 parts or just found this one today, something brought you here, and that already says something about you. It takes something to sit with this kind of content, to not scroll past, to let it land. Not everyone does that. Most people keep moving. You did not. Maybe you still do not have answers. Maybe you are still searching. That is okay. Still searching means you have not given up. And that is not a small thing. That is everything. Every step toward looking inward is a step forward, even when it does not feel like one. If something in this story stayed with you, write one or more word below. For me, or for the person scrolling after you who has not heard any of this said out loud yet.
You kept saying it's fine, because nothing was technically wrong. The days continued, the world continued, and so did you. You Unanswered messages showed up, helped people, stayed available, even in moments where something in you wanted to disappear for a while. And quietly a question started forming, not loudly, not all at once, just somewhere underneath all the carrying. Why does none of this reach me anymore? There were moments where everything stopped just long enough for you to feel how tired you actually were, not physically, somewhere deeper than that. You became good at continuing, good at functioning, good at staying steady, while parts of you slowly stopped arriving with you. You spent so long taking care of everyone else that somewhere along the way you stopped noticing you were also someone standing there, needing care too. Not a breakdown, not a collapse, just a quiet realization that you have been living around yourself for a very long time. Nobody taught you to stop before saying yes. Nobody taught you that the pause was also yours to take. Maybe the next thing is not becoming someone